Well, scenario planning research conducted by Indlulamithi has released a new set of trajectory, I always get that word wrong, outlooks. These are from all the way up to 2035. The project looks to provide tools to assess what a socially cohesive South Africa would actually look like. Here's Ziyanda Ngcobo with our report.
The Indlulamithi South Africa scenarios have released a new set of outlooks for 3 possible trajectories that the country could take by 2035. Unlike the previous research that was released in 2018, which used the imagery of different dance moves to assess our levels of social cohesion, the analogy of birds has been used for this latest set of planning. The Hadida home, vulture culture and weaver work look at the best and worst case scenarios the country could find itself in.
The Hadidas come home to roost. Apartheid spatial planning endures throughout this period. The middle class is slowly mixed, but we're not mixing fast enough. Gatekeepers, rent takers, petty power officials, water warlords are controlling the public's access towards public goods, and that's become a problem because people's impatience is palpable, the buck stops nowhere. And that then refers to the question of the failed state, or the question of, why do people still not rise up in the way they did? Maybe it'll happen. Maybe there is still hope that things would improve. And that's the point we leave the 2035 according to this scenario.
The vulture culture scenario paints a picture of a nation that is desperate and repressive, with a new coalition government that embraces authoritarian populism.
To summarize this, after 2034, the populist coalition has ruthlessly shut down the democratic space. We were already by then still reeling from the 2033 Foreign Interference Act that was passed, which banned prominent NGOs and prevented foreign funding of journalism. All of you would be interested to know here. The SABC, a very important part of our society in general. We don't pay enough attention to it, I think. We do in this scenario. SABC management and board, after last year's elections, had already become faithful government hounds.
The last scenario, the weaver work, is more positive and speaks about a South Africa that is cooperating, creating more meaningful transformation and better management of global issues such as climate change.
What we see now and over the past decade or so is that our country's and the government's success by this year, has lain particularly in the manner in which we've managed to fuse the power, capital and the vast reach of the state with the managerial expertise and systems of the private sector, with the legitimacy and embeddedness of civil society to provide these benefits in economy, society and nation building. So this kind of triangular cooperative thing that we had. So we had 7 lean years, becoming biblical at the end of this, 7 lean years from 2021 to 2028, and then 7 fat years from 2028 until this year. It required this kind of cooperation between strong, assertive civil society, a more active citizenry, and a political elite that was willing to listen.
The latest research builds upon the previous scenario planning, which reflects that dysfunction has become a daily part of our lives in South Africa. But there are glimmers of hope when it comes to the existence of strong institutions and an active citizenry. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Ziyanda Ngcobo in Sandton.